Hello there and welcome back to another video. I hope you're doing very well on this very day, which is Monday. It's a little bit more sunnier outside, but it doesn't really matter because we're all meant to be inside, so that is what most of us are doing. I hope you managed to have a good weekend, whatever you were doing anyway, and just hope that you're keeping well, doing well, keeping healthy and safe and everything like that, and looking after anyone that you might need to as well. Take care of yourselves too. Now, this was one that broke over the weekend, and it caused a bit of an uproar, obviously, because, Sky Sports, Mohamed Salah, should they keep or sell? Look at the Egyptians changing role, means Liverpool might need to look for a new forward, blah, blah, blah. And then Salah himself replied to it with laughing emojis and stuff like that, and that was it's just the best response. It really is. Now, we get taken for granted a little bit, or I should say, Liverpool fans sometimes get told we take Salah for granted, and I don't believe that's true. I think that a lot of us really appreciate what he's done for us, what he brings to the table, what he brings to the team, what he does in terms of work rate, scoring goals, assists. Now, people forever go and look at his first season at Liverpool, and his first season was absolutely fantastic. Like, he scored something like 44 goals in all competitions, 32 in the Premier League or something like that. I'm pretty sure, actually, if we look at his career stats here, when he first arrived, he had 32 goals in the league, 11 in Europe, 1 in the FA Cup, 44 goals in total. I don't know how many assists he's had. I know he's had 25 in the Premier League in total. He then got 22 goals the next season, 5 in Europe, 27 goals in total. That's not that bad. That's really not that bad. The fact that he came in the Premier League in his first season and broke the goal scoring record for a full season on his first go, unreal. This current season he's on 16, he's got 4 in Europe, 20 goals in total, but this season isn't finished yet, and he most likely would have got around a similar sort of number to his 2018-19 season stats. So for me, I've got no issues with Salah. The fact that he is also one of the highest scorers that we've had in a very, very, very long time. He's scored more goals than Suarez has in his time at Liverpool. And Suarez is still hailed as someone that people really, they absolutely really, really, really love him. And he was a great player for us when he was there, but I'll never forget the way he wanted to leave, and he goes and bites someone, making it impossible for him to come back to Liverpool. I don't know why he did that, but Salah's done nothing of the sort. He plays well, he assists well when he can. He obviously scores more goals than he assists. And then obviously Squawker. Mo Salah has the highest Premier League win percentage of any player to make at least 100 appearances in the competition's history. 113 games, 83 wins, 72 goals, 25 assists, 75 wins from 100 matches in a Liverpool shirt. You can't argue with what Salah brings to the table. You honestly can't, not in my opinion anyway. And then obviously Sky Sports ran their article with, should we sell Mo Salah? I think Carragher was arguing in this article as well that he's seen as world class by those on the outside, but with Liverpool fans, I think he's a little bit underappreciated. And I genuinely think it just comes from that first season. He came out of the gates, like he says here, he was never going to score another 47 goals in a season. Now that was 44 goals, as we saw in the last graphic anyway. But even so, Salah is unreal. He was never going to score 44 goals in another season. If he was, he would have been in the bracket. You're talking like Messi and Ronaldo numbers and stuff like that. And it's just, and to do it in the Premier League would be unreal. To think that he wasn't going to have a bit of a dip. And then they go in to talk about the dribbling and age curve and stuff like that, and how he's got less dribbles per 90, and what age is Salah at right now? I think Salah's 27, and it's one of these things they're trying to predict where he's at. Salah's dribbling stats and stuff like that, they imagine that they will just go down and down and down unless he, changes his game up and stuff like that. It says to look at instead at the 5 previous forwards who have won the Ballon d'Or. Kaká, Ronaldinho, Shevchenko, Ronaldo and Michael Owen were all well past their best by their late 20s. Some were even in semi-retirement. The optimum time to sell had already passed. Salah could avoid that fate if he's injury-free or free of injury and distraction, but his game will need to evolve. Ronaldo did that, taking away the dribbling and stuff like that he did, and instead becoming a massive centre-forward. John Barnes swapped the left wing for the centre of midfield as his skill set changed. The problem that you got with Salah is that, if Salah gets a major injury like Michael Owen did years ago and like Torres did as well, where it would affect his pace and his dribbling ability, yeah, you're gonna lose a lot of what Salah does, because in terms of passing and getting assists, he's not the highest assister of all time. I think he's got 25 assists over 3 seasons. He's a goal scorer. He's in. That is what he does. That's his main threat. He is a goal scorer for Liverpool. He doesn't have the best. He's got a great left foot, but his right foot isn't the best. It really isn't. Whether he's right in front of goal or shooting from distance or even passing with his right foot, it's not the best. So then you take someone like that and you want to put him into the centre of attacking midfield. He's not going to offer you the best of his abilities. In terms of adapting his game, he'd have to absolutely practice passing on both feet, long distance, short passing, and vision. I think yes, if Salah can stay injury free, I've got no issues with us keeping him. People saying that we should sell Salah, out of all of the forwards, that if we had to sell one, who would you sell? It would be Salah. I got a lot of people that would turn around and say it'd be Firmino, and Firmino is a lot of the time the glue of Liverpool, but because he doesn't provide goals like a centre forward is traditionally meant to, people would say they would sell him. I wouldn't sell any of them. I wouldn't sell Mane, I wouldn't sell Firmino, and I wouldn't sell Salah, because they complement each other so well. They are they are like cogs. They are like cogs. They come together and they work so well, in my opinion. And I just think that it would be crazy to think of getting rid of one of them. Whichever player it was. I just think it's the way the system is built. And until something changes or one of the players comes out and says he wants to leave, I don't think that will change. I think it was ridiculous for Sky Sports to come out with something like that, though. Just clearly, just because there probably isn't a great deal of news going on right now. There has been no football being played in well over a month, or at least I think so. Anyway, I don't know. It feels like it's been ages, but still, I love the guy. I think he's brilliant. I think he's a great representative of Liverpool. He doesn't create any controversy or anything like that. I'd love to keep him at the club. Whether other people agree, let me know. Let me know what you think. Would you sell Salah now and bring someone else in? I think he could be at the peak of his powers in the next season or so. 28, going on 29. You could start to see the best of him if he avoids injury. But hey, we'll see what happens. The next thing I want to talk about, obviously, was Lovren, saying that it hasn't been easy being in lockdown and the psychological aspect of it being the most difficult to overcome. He's saying that he's lost a fair bit of mass and stuff because he's not doing the training that they would normally do on a day-to-day basis at the club and stuff like that as well. But also the fact that he's missing working alongside their teammates, looking forward to returning to training. He's been locked up in their homes for 46 days now. The psychological aspect is the most difficult to overcome. I work out on my own as much as I can. I kick the ball around a bit with my son on our lawn, but training with the team is totally different. And obviously it would be, because you're training with world-class athletes, world-class footballers. He's trying to stay motivated any way he can. Gets up in the morning, tells himself he's going to get knackered in training, and at least he's managed to lose some weight. But he's lost some mass in his legs because there's no substitute for a 90-minute team training session. But Lovren has also, I don't have the article because it comes up with a load of adverts and stuff like that, and I don't want to put it on here. But he's also come out and said, basically he feels that the coronavirus is a is a conspiracy, and there's something that it's not to be taken as, it shouldn't be taken as seriously as it should be. He says here he hopes that Alexander Seferin and all the other people from the UEFA and FIFA will come up with a solution so that they don't get into a situation having to go play 15 games in 30 days. They need time off. This hasn't really been time off because the players will need to recover mentally from the pandemic and the resultant quarantine. And that is a very good point. But when you also come out and say stuff like you think that this coronavirus and pandemic is a conspiracy and it's not as serious as it should be, in another article, I think he quoted or replied to Bill Gates saying the game is up, no one believe the truth is out, or something like that. I don't know which side of the fence you're sitting on, Lovren, but I totally agree that the psychological aspect of being in lockdown is something that's really difficult for everybody. It honestly is. It's one of those things that people won't really talk about very, very much, apart from those that are very, very open. It is a struggle when you're at home all day, or if you're in your own house by yourself all day, or you've got someone else that might be a key worker and you don't see them, you only see them for a couple of hours of the day because you're at home, whatever. It's difficult. It really, really is difficult. I would love this season to be, to be restarted in the next week or something like that. I would love it, but not if it's not safe to do so. If it's not safe to do so, you don't do it. That's my opinion anyway. But I do agree with him, and I sympathise with it as well, saying to recover mentally from quarantine. It's going to be difficult. People are going to feel on edge, even just coming back around people, being back around their friends. People are, they haven't seen their friends in God knows how long, and they're all of a sudden going to be back around people just as normal, or just as normal as people would say. It's going to be weird. It's going to be difficult as well. Like, you're going to go back into, like, his best friend being Salah or something like that. It's going to go back to training. It's going to be a little bit of a weird exchange at first, because they've been away from each other for so long. It's just how it is. When you're in isolation, you're quarantined for a long time, you're away from everything. Even me, like, I'm away from my friends and all that sort of business. When we meet up, I'm fully expectant that it's going to be a little bit weird, because we haven't interacted with each other, like, for a great deal of time. So yeah, it's just one of those things. I sympathise with it, but he's got to come out and clarify these comments that he's said on Twitter, I think it was, or Instagram, where he's talking to Bill Gates about it being like, he believes that the coronavirus isn't as serious as it is being made out to be, and all that sort of business. I don't get that. I don't get that perspective. But hey, let me know what you think in the comments below about all this stuff. How do you feel about Salah, and how are you also feeling in lockdown at the moment? How is your mental health? I genuinely hope that you're doing okay in whatever you're able to do on a day-to-day basis. Genuinely take care of yourselves. Thanks ever so much for watching this video. If you have enjoyed it, please do like it and subscribe if you're new around here. Thank you once again, and I'll catch you later.